What's up, everyone? It's Dominic here for Obligatory. It's Friday, May 5th. We're coming at you with an overview of the new releases that dropped within this past week. If you didn't check it out already, make sure you go check out our previous video with Dev, bringing you some news that's happening within the music world over the past week or so. Jumping right into the new releases, we have a new album from Ed Sheeran called Subtract. This is the 5th studio album for the English singer-songwriter. It is the final mathematical themed album for Ed Sheeran, and it was produced and co-written by Aaron Dresner of The National. Very much so on opposite ends of the spectrum from Ed Sheeran, we have the underground/abstract hip-hop artist Billy Woods teaming up once again with Kenny Segal for the album Maps. The pair previously collaborated on 2019's Hiding Places. Maps features a pretty impressive guest list with features from Danny Brown, Elucid, Shabaka Hutchings, Quelle Chris, A$AP Rock, and more. While this may not be on everyone's radar, Maps is an essential listen for any fan of abstract hip-hop, jazz rap, or underground hip-hop as a whole. This week also brought us If Looks Could Kill by Destroy Lonely, which is the debut album from the 21-year-old rapper out of Atlanta, Georgia. That album is out now via Opium Records, which you may or may not know, but it's a record label founded by Playboi Carti. So if that interests you, if you're a fan of Playboi Carti, might be worth checking out. In what is easily the longest album to drop this week, we have the third and final act of ATUM by the Smashing Pumpkins. This 2+ hour long album is a rock opera concept album that is meant to be a sequel to the band's previous albums, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, which dropped in 1995, and Machina, the Machines of God, which dropped in 2000. Australian DJ and producer Flume released Arrived Anxious Left Bored, which is his second surprise mixtape of the year. Following Things Don't Always Go the Way You Plan, this project is another collection of previously unreleased tracks that Flume has put together over the years. After releasing God Don't Make Mistakes last year with the help of Shady Records, Conway the Machine releases a new record entitled Won't He Do It, solely through his own label, Drumwork Music Group. This album has appearances by Benny the Butcher, Westside Gunn, of course, Juicy J, and many others. Durand Jones has been one of the most prominent singers in modern soul music, with 3 strong albums under his belt as part of Durand Jones and the Indications, but he released his first solo effort with the album Wait Till I Get Over, which strengthens his resume further with a deeply personal record detailing his experience growing up as a black man in the South. As part of probably one of the most interesting resurgences of any band in music's history, Panchiko just released their sophomore album, Failed at Maths. Failed at Maths comes more than 20 years after the band's debut, titled Death Metal, which dates back to 2000 and was recorded when the band was still in high school. After a demo/promotional CD was discovered in 2020 and brought to the attention of the internet, it brought the band back together to bring us their sophomore album, which continues down the trend of sort of lo-fi, neo-psychedelic, dream pop, and indie rock sounds. Denzel Curry just released a Spotify exclusive EP entitled Live at Electric Lady, recorded at Electric Lady Studios in New York. This EP has some live, more soulful and jazzy renditions of several tracks featured on his last album, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. Philly rapper Armani White just released his debut EP/mini album, Road to CASABLANCO, featuring guest verses from Denzel Curry, A$AP Ferg, Fabio Foreign, and more. Powering through a few of the last releases we wanted to highlight in this video, we have Candlelight Shower Time by Sun Organ, a slowcore/shoegaze project out of Philadelphia. Dream pop and indie rock duo Flasher out of Washington, D.C. just released a new EP entitled In My Myth. This 4-track EP is a follow-up to their last album, Love Is Yours, that they put out back in June of 2022. Flirting with sounds of rage, pop, trap, and even a bit of trap metal, we have the sophomore album from JELEEL entitled Real Raw. We also have a new album from IDK entitled F65. Producer and multi-instrumentalist Mike Dean releases his new solo effort, 423. And lastly, for albums we want to highlight this week, we have a new album from the experimental abstract hip-hop artist Bus Driver entitled Made in Love. Moving on to some of the singles that dropped within the past week, we have a collaboration between R&B singer Brent Faiyaz and EDM producer Marshmello as they team up for a smooth, summery track titled Fell in Love. Swedish rock band The Hives, who gained quite a bit of mainstream success in the early to mid and even late 2000s, just released a new single entitled Bogus Operandi, alongside an announcement for a new album due out August 11th. The album is titled The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons, and it will be their first album in 11 years. Also coming out of Sweden, we have a new track from the art pop, electropop, and indie-tronica group Little Dragon. This track is called Kenneth, and it is from their upcoming album Slugs of Love, which is set to release July 7th on Ninja Tune. Singer, songwriter, and YouTuber Poppy just released a new track titled Spit. This track is a cover of a song originally by the Canadian heavy metal nu metal band Kitty, originally released in 1999 as the title track of their 1999 debut album, Spit. In what is a multinational collab that brings together artists from Moscow, Russia, Berlin, Germany, and Los Angeles, California, we have a collaboration between Pussy Riot, Boys Noise, and Alice Glass. This track is titled Chastity and is a future pop/techno track that Pussy Riot's frontwoman Nadia described as a song that will put the patriarch in a tiny cage and throw the key out. Florida rapper BLP Kosher just released the track Castle, which is his first release since he recently collaborated with Cole Bennett of Lyrical Lemonade and Babytron for a music video and single entitled Mazeltron. Mixed Matches just dropped a new track entitled Remind You, further showcasing the ambient pop, cloud trap fusion of sounds that got him on our radar a few years ago. If you're not familiar with Mixed Matches, make sure to check out the interview we did with him about 2 years ago around the release of his album In Memory, available right here on our YouTube channel. Pop punk / post-hardcore band Heart Attack Man out of Cleveland, Ohio, just released a new single called Like a Kennedy that is off their upcoming album Freak of Nature that is out May 26th. We have a new collaboration between two heavyweights of sort of noise rock and various genres of metal as Boris and Uniform team up for the track You Are the Beginning. That's kind of this mixture of noise rock and crossover thrash. The two have a collab album entitled Bright New Disease that is set to release on June 16th via Sacred Bones. The synth-funk and electropop duo Knower, made up of Louis Cole and Genevieve Artadi, just released a new single called I'm the President that is off their upcoming album Knower Forever, which is due out June 2nd. Sweeping Promises, a post-punk duo from Lawrence, Kansas, had one of the best singles of 2021, releasing Pain Without a Touch right before the end of the year in November, and they've just released their newest single since, entitled Eraser. This comes alongside the announcement of their sophomore album, titled Good Living Is Coming For You, which is out June 30th via Feel It Records. Grian Chatton, perhaps best known as the singer and frontman of Irish post-punk band Fontaines DC, just released his second single of the year entitled Fairlies. It has a singer-songwriter sort of folk rock type of feel to it, and it comes alongside an album announcement for his debut solo album titled Chaos for the Fly, which will be out June 30th through Partisan Records. Body Type out of Sydney, Australia have a new track entitled Weekend that is off their upcoming album Expired Candy, out June 2nd via Poison City Records. This track has a little bit more of a power pop feel to it rather than the post-punk feel that their previous two singles had. The slacker rock / shoegaze band Toner out of Oakland, California just released their third single of the year with Haters Anthem, which is out via Smoking Room. Bethany Cosentino, who has been the frontwoman of Best Coast for more than a decade now since their formation in 2009, has announced her debut solo album with the release of a single titled It's Fine. Her solo album, Natural Disaster, is set to be released July 28th via Concord Records. For anyone who's a fan of Squid, Black Country New Road, Black Midi, or any of the other countless bands that have come out of the South London post-punk scene, the band The Legs, with two S's, Legss, just released a new track called Fester, which is the title track from their upcoming EP set to be released on June 9th. Fester is the second single off the upcoming EP that they have released, and this one shows a bit more restraint and has more of an art rock / post-rock feel to it than previous single The Landlord, which bordered between noise rock and post-punk and had a lot more energy and explosiveness to it. So this is shaping up to be a really interesting and versatile EP, again coming out June 9th. And to wrap things up for today, here are 5 more singles that I didn't have a ton to add or elaborate on, but I couldn't go without mentioning. Bring Me the Horizon just released a new track titled Lost that has a bit of an emo pop and pop punk feel to it. While this track was previously leaked, Yeat just gave an official release to his track Already Rich. R&B singer-songwriter Kirby teams up with rapper Rhapsody for a new track and collaboration titled Eve Jean that is a celebratory ode to black women. Originally teased in an Instagram post in 2020 that showed him alongside James Harden dancing and listening to it in the studio, Lil Baby finally dropped his track Go Hard. And lastly, Gucci Mane taps Roddy Ricch and Nardo Wick for features on his new track Pissy. While that isn't everything that dropped within the past week, that hopefully gave you a good overview. If you want to see the full list that we compiled of stuff to drop within the past week, you can see that on your screen here in this video. You can check out our Twitter, you can check out our Instagram, or you can go to the obligatory subreddit to see the full list that we put together. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let us know your favorite new releases of this week. Let us know what you're looking forward to next week or in the next coming weeks. And let us know if there's anything you missed. And thanks for watching.